Shanti. Today we will read a shloka from Bhagavad Gita, and we will explain the meaning of the shloka in relation to an explanation that was given by Dr. Wayne Dyer on that shloka. So let's see. And he gave us some great insight on how to apply this knowledge in our daily life. So just by listening to the Bhagavad Gita or any other scriptures won't do anything. We will have to apply each point in our own life to see the results. So let's see. So he quote. This is taken from his book called Inspiration, Your Ultimate Calling. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains the nature of self or awareness. You can call it by any name, Brahman, Parabrahma, or simply Spirit. So he explains the nature of the Spirit or our own true self. He explains it like this: not pierced by arrows, nor burnt by fire, affected by neither water nor wind. The self is not a physical creature, not wounded, not burnt, not wetted, not dried. The self is ever and everywhere, immovable and everlasting. This spiritual classic reminds us that we are not only physical creatures with egos, we are a self to which we wish to be wedded in spirit, which is everywhere and everlasting. This is our true essence. When we move into this space within ourselves and see all of our life experiences from this point of view, we will be permanently inspired. There are who have realized the self in all its wonder. Others can speak of it as wonderful, but there are many who don't understand even when they hear it. Deathless is the self in every creature. Know this truth and leave all sorrow behind. So when we do as Krishna advises and realizes the self, we live knowing that our true being is deathless. Nothing touches the spirit. No experiences, whether it's some pleasurable moments or some sad moments, nothing touches our true spirit. What does this mean? We usually tend to identify with just the form. That is where the mistake happens. So Krishna reminds us, saying that you are not just the body. So when he explains the nature of the spirit, the self, he is talking about you. He is reminding our true self. The feeling of I within us is not actually connected to the body. The body doesn't know anything. The body we usually misunderstand the feeling of I. We usually connect the feeling of I or I exist feeling with the body. So Krishna is trying to correct us, to correct our perception that the feeling of I or the feeling of I exist, I'm alive, that feeling doesn't have anything to do with your body. So that feeling itself is the self knowing itself. So Krishna is talking about that true self which knows itself. He's talking about our true being. So what is he saying? Not pierced by arrows. So if we identify ourselves just with the body, we can be destroyed by any weapons or natural calamities or anything. But Krishna is reminding us that you are not something that can be destroyed. You are not you cannot be pierced by arrows, not burnt by fire, affected by neither water nor wind. The self is not a physical creature. So try to understand this point, and once you understand this point, this single point, you get the whole idea of Gita. The essence of Gita is this: you are not just a physical form. So Dr. Vaindar gives us some nice tips on how to apply this in our daily life. So I'll just read some points from his book. Seeing this physical world as an illusion, ironically, allows you to enjoy it more and stay inspired. Practice laughing at the importance that you and so many people place on everyday circumstances. View it from an eternal perspective, and you'll find yourself lightening that heavy load. I have personally often cited the words, "This too shall pass," to keep me unburdened when my imagined problems feel troublesome. So what does this mean? When some problem seemed to arise, Dr. Vaindar used to practice this. He would say to himself, he would remind himself, saying that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Because every problem we have experienced in our lives, nothing could stay. They all passed. They all passed. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent other than the true self that we are. So every situation, every people, every problems, every object, everything is coming and going, coming and going. But there is something in us that is not coming and going. It's always present. So when Lord Krishna says we are eternal, we are present everywhere, omnipresent, what does this mean? Imagine this. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever experience yourself not present? Which means, did you ever experience the absence of yourself? Answer is simple, no. We were always aware. So what is that thing in us that is capable of knowing that we exist? Not just that. Let's take our sensual experiences, 5 senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, all these experiences. There should be something in us that is capable of knowing this experience. Let's take the experience of seeing. Now you are seeing me in your screen. So that is an experience of seeing, or you can say knowing. So every experience comes to that point of knowing. So there is a knower inside. So let me ask you a question. Can you remove the object from the experience of seeing? Let's say you're seeing me on the screen. Can you remove the object or the screen that you're seeing from the experience of knowing? Seeing is an experience. So can you remove the object from the experience of seeing? No. It's one. The one that knows the experience is the same one that is appearing as the sight. Right now, you, the formless awareness, is appearing as the scene, as the screen, as all the objects that you're seeing now. So this is the point that we need to understand. So remind yourselves again and again this point, that we are the formless awareness that is capable of knowing everything, and nothing can destroy us. We are eternal and omnipresent. So his tip on this point is just reminding ourselves when a problem comes, reminding ourselves again and again, saying that this too shall pass. 4 words, simple words, and take it as a mantra if you want to, and that will help you a lot when problems comes. You just remind yourself saying this, because all the other problems in the past, they have already passed. Nothing could stay. So this too shall pass. Your ego wants you to live in a state of self-importance, but your Holy Spirit knows that the only thing that's truly important is being in alignment with Spirit. Therefore, anything that's not of Spirit, such as fear, illness, worry, shame, anger, and the like, is worthy of your laughter. When others attempt to seduce you into feeling bad, guilty, worried, fearful, or anything that isn't of Spirit, practice stepping outside of yourself and becoming the observer to all things transitory. How do you become that witness? Reminding yourself again and again that I am the formless witness that is observing everything. And repeat sentiments such as, this is another tip, this isn't mine, I refuse to own it. Even a thought, you don't have to own that thought. You can say, this isn't mine. It's just coming and going. Sky doesn't hold on to clouds. What does sky do? It would just let the clouds play. And when the time is over, the clouds will pass. Just like that. When thought comes, just observe it and let go. Don't hold on to it, or don't log into that thought. Unplug from the thought. So this is how he is saying here. So disown it. I refuse to own it, and I'll not be misaligned with Spirit. At any moment of your life, you can practice this observer technique. Just mentally step outside of your body and observe what's trying to keep you from being inspired. Then vow to return to Spirit by repeating the above statements. So what did he say here? Say, this isn't mine. This isn't mine. I refuse to own it. So you can, there's always a possibility to step outside of this bubble. Continually remind yourself of the physical and metaphysical truth that there is no place anywhere in this universe that's devoid of Spirit. So he is everywhere. When I say he, I don't mean a gender or anything like that, or a form or a religion, anything like that. The awareness, which is beyond all these labeling and names and forms, that is right here, right now. It is right here. So Krishna, what did Krishna say? It is eternal. The self is not a physical creature, not wounded, and it is everywhere, ever, everlasting. So these 3 words, remember, that is what we are. The true self in us. We are not just this form. So getting this truth in our reality, practice this, because we somehow practiced so many times in our mind that we are just this body mind. Now we have to undo that. That's why we are asking to to be practiced, to stay in this knowledge and practice this, not to become the spirit. We are already that. We don't need to do anything to become anything. We are already that. But some conditioning in us, the society taught us so many wrong ideas and concepts. Our parents, our conditioning, our culture, our religion, so many influences are there when a child grows up. So what we are doing here is undoing the conditioning, undoing the wrong understanding layer by layer. And what do we find? The truth about what we are. Continually remind yourself of the physical and metaphysical truth that there is no place anywhere in this universe that's devoid of spirit. So that goes to this is a really good weapon for fearful thoughts. Just remind yourself that spirit is everywhere, wherever you are, it's everywhere. So everything and everyone is of spirit, before, during, and after manifestation into physical form. I urge you to seek the spirit when your ego has convinced you that it's absent. In all of your non-inspired moments, practice stopping the chatter of the ego and look for the good or a reason for what's happening. Whatever is coming up, natural calamities or whatever, practice this. And die while you're alive. What does this mean? This is a famous phrase that you hear when you go for a spiritual gathering, or this is really famous, popular, because there's a truth in it. Live the words of the New Testament that tell you that you are in this world but not of it. You can be here without being attached to here by simply discarding your body identification. Imagine yourself as a decomposed energy field that's impervious to anything not of spirit. Envision, for example, that criticism and feelings of inadequacy are in this world and thus unable to enter your body because you have left it, and are an eminent glowing glob of non-particles that's no longer of this body. So he's encouraging us to imagine our body as just a bunch of particles, a glowing energy field. This exercise will liberate you from so many of the problems you have connected to in your mind. You only have now this moment, and even it will disappear in a flash. Welcome to the infinite world of spirit. So practice these techniques and you will see how it can change your life. So whenever a problem comes, you might forget sometimes, but come back to this technique again and again and apply this. Imagine your body as just an energy field. You're just an energy field. And it's like electricity expressing in different forms. You can use electricity for all kinds of lights, all kinds of appliances, and it can take any shape, any form. So it's just like that. We are this energy expressing in this body. This body cannot do anything without the spirit. This body is not even alive. The spirit makes it alive. Look, it just looks like it has life because of the spirit. So it's so evident that the spirit is right here. Right here, that's what you are. But when you identify with the body, you tend to forget it. So practice this technique and I hope this helps. Thank you. Om Shanti. Shanti.